3 years tenure for local government chairmen and councillors, and not the Local Government Law Number 2 of 2024, which was enacted to unlawfully extend their tenure. It was also held that such extension was contrary to their oath of office. Okay, now I'm not a lawyer, so hopefully we can have a conversation from just a political observer's perspective or point of view. And I'm saying this because I'm looking at some statements by the court. The court is saying it can only recognize the State Local Government Law Number 5 of 2018, which, by the way, was enacted by State House of Assembly. And so my first confusion is why the 2018 law is recognized and that of 2024 is not recognized. You see, I do understand that laws are made for the betterment of society, but sometimes these things should be explained explicitly so that the layman like me can understand. However, my second question is, is there not a court case as it relates to the local government chairman from a federal high court in Abuja? Another conflicting judgment, in my opinion. Even if lawyers will tell you they are not two same judgments or two same court cases in law. But it was on this show, we had Chidi Lawyer's guest, and I threw a question at him. So did you get a judgment? And he said, yes, we got a judgment. And the judgment had to do with the government recognizing them as local government chairmen, giving them what is due them, ensuring that the police, I think we talked about it that period. Some of you remember that conversation, right? The police not removing or withdrawing police security from the local government chairman. And I remember asking, but there is the court case that has the, two other local government chairmen saying we don't want an extension to our term in office. And, Chidi Lloyd's answer at the time was that they went and asked the court to stop a law that was yet to be enacted before the law was enacted. Anyways, those are for legal arguments. But my confusion is, I'm making reference to that, is that we talked about it and we were told that there was the Federal High Court judgment, yet again similar. Now, lawyers who come into the studio and tell us, they did not ask for specific arguments, but you and I, who are observers, who are not lawyers, when we see these things, we can see the similarities. Like I was trying to ask the lawyer who was in the studio not so long ago, when you say one court ordered the lawmakers from parading as lawmakers and another court did not really stop or grant them, just said and don't touch their money, my goodness, there's similarities. Whether we like it or not, they are similarities. Yes, we play politics in real estate, but if we were to remove the politics or the political intrigues, we would agree that there are similarities to the case. And in the similarities, it looks like the High Court, is given conflicting judgments, just like the Chief Justice of Nigeria made reference to. Now, whichever way the pendulum swings, because we look at the law as, what drives society, what unites society, we look at it as above every human in society, every group in society. If it swings its pendulum to any of the factions or any of the directions, we would obey it. But what confuses me and my kind, I want to believe, is when we try to play the more you look, the less you see kind of games, and when we try to dribble the law, and when we try to use loopholes, because there are a lot of loopholes, my brother and my sisters, there are a lot of loopholes in the law, and that's why you hear things like technicalities. So technically speaking, and that's what the lawyers are always using to get their way themselves and their clients. But as Rivers people, really, I want us to look at it from an observatory perspective. So we have a federal high court that is given a similar, very similar, right? And yet again, we have another state high court giving similar judgments. While one faction will say, oh, but I have this judgment. The other faction will come and say, oh, I have this judgment. And do you know what that causes? It causes, it gives some legal backing to the political fight that is happening. So Canada has a court judgment. What's his name now? Who am I going to use as an example? Clinton from Bori has his own court judgment, and we're dragging, let's say, a piece of land. And Clinton has from a high court. I have from a federal high court. Do you know what that means? I've got legal back into the fight. He has got legal back into the fight. And so if the police comes and says, oh, you, and he shows him his court papers, and the police comes to me and I show him so who do you think the police will arrest or caution? These are the issues. These are the problems. And I really wonder why the judiciary is so slow. But more importantly, I wonder why RESEC. Yeah, everybody's forgotten about RESEC in this matter. I wonder why RESEC is too quiet about this issue. RESEC is the institution saddled with the responsibility of holding local government elections.
And your talk station.
If local government elections were held when they were supposed to have been held, we would not even be having this conversation in the first place. Right? We would not be having a conversation in the first place. We would be talking about holding local government elections and ensuring that we protect our votes. I mean, that would have been the conversation, right? Hey, everybody come out, vote, protect your votes, make sure that the best person wins. That would have been our conversation. But look at us, playing politics with developmental conversation. Why? Because RESEC has decided to remain silent in a time like this. Why is there no local government election? RESEC should be telling us. What are the challenges? RESEC should be telling us. But guess what? RESEC is silent. The judiciary is slow. And the politicians, whether on the left or on the right, are taking advantage of the loopholes therein. And I hope we can we can see through some of this political intrigues and see how it is, like Goodluck Jonathan would say, slowing down the development of not just the state but the nation at large. But before I go on, I had a chance to chat with Darlington Wauju, and let's hear some of the things he had to say.
Hello, Canada. Well, you will recall that on the 26th of April, that was last month, when I was guest on your show, I had made some prognostications based on the happenstances that took place in Lagos, where the learned SAN Femi Falana wrote to the Lagos State Assembly and the governor of Lagos State, that was former governor Babatunde Fashola, advising them against the moves by the Lagos State House of Assembly to, as at then, consolidate the local government laws in Lagos State and give an extension of tenure to local government council officials to 6 years. And the learned SAN had written, citing what lawyers will call judicial precedents, the celebrated case of the Attorney General of Abia State versus the Attorney General of the Federation. And the Supreme Court decision was clear that you cannot embark on a tenure elongation for persons whose tenures had already started running. And here we are arguing over an issue that does not have the imprimatur of the preponderance of stakeholders in Rivers State. Let me also let you know that just last week, the Kaduna State governor, legislators, and other stakeholders in Kaduna State held a stakeholders meeting where it was agreed upon that elections that were conducted under Governor Nasir El-Rufai, that's local government elections, for which tenureship was for 3 years, that the tenureship should be cut down to 2 years, and that in fact the governor should have powers to dissolve local government councils 4 months to the expiration of their tenures. And a lot of persons who benefited, who are beneficiaries of that election, are now clamoring to serve out their tenure. And here we are in the case of Rivers State, where somebody or some group of persons are now trying to go through the back door to extend their tenure. Look, tenure elongation, by whichever guys you want to see it, remains tenure elongation.
All right, when we come back from a commercial break, we'll listen to Darlington Nwauju some more. Remember, it's part of the embattled ESCO of the APC. So do stay tuned.
Did you know that AY Committee
News coming up in about less than 2 minutes now. So I'm just going to listening to, my conversation with Darlington Nwauju alongside you. So you can also listen. And I'll open the phone lines immediately after the headline news. Take a listen.
Under the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution guaranteeing a democratic system for the local government, the evil that is in tenure elongation. The Constitution guarantees a democratic system for the third tier of government. The Constitution never guarantees tenure elongation for anybody. And so if you decide to potentiate or oxygenate the arguments that you are trying to defend democracy by ensuring that the tenures of these men who are, as we all know, should be expiring on the 17th day of June 2024. If you now begin to argue that we should oxygenate democracy and we can only get that done by ensuring tenure elongation for this set of persons who are taking an oath of office based on the laws of the 2018 local government law. I don't get it at all. It means that we'll be changing the law or changing the rules in the middle of the game, which is not fair to everybody, which will also amount to abrogating the rights of persons like me, who has already made up his mind to be voting for a new set of officials after June 17th. And so if our law as it stands today does not and cannot allow for the reset to conduct election within this time frame, then the governor has the rights, as I've argued before.
Okay.
On the
we'll pause. Darlington Wildry yet again. We'll pause him. We'll get back to him. But let's take the headline news. Just stay tuned.
Headline.
Nigeria info. Let's continue listening to Darlington Wildry. We'll open the phone lines in a bit. Okay, so let's go back to that.
I had canvassed robustly that the government should be allowed to set up transition committees or interim administrators for the local government system. Look, if you look at what is happening in Plateau State, in Osun State, in Ekiti State, in neighboring Akwa Ibom, in Zamfara State, almost in all the places, you see the preponderance of the usage of transition committees or what we call caretaker committees. And so, yes, the Constitution guarantees a democratic system for local government. But now it is, as we have seen it, under the direct control of stakeholders in that particular, in each of the states. You cannot now get tenure elongation that favors you alone. I mean the 23 local government chairmen and the councillors alone, without the input of other stakeholders. Now, the purported amendment by the Martins and Mewule group of lawmakers never had the imprimatur or the input of stakeholders. There was no public hearing anywhere. Please, if there was, can you let me know when and where and how it was held? You cannot sleep and wake up and claim you have made a law for the people, for God's sake. And so for people like us, that was no law. That was no more law. It was mere playing to the gallery. Dancing to the tune of one political governor sitting somewhere, which is more fair. So my argument remains and still is that there cannot be, we cannot subscribe to, we cannot support tenure elongation in any guise. And today's judgment of the State High Court puts paid to that effort and supports my argument. My argument on the issue of tenure elongation.
All right, that's the much we can take from Darlington. But then again, if Darlington's arguments are anything, I mean, he does have an argument. Tenure elongation is not in the Constitution. Even the court did mention it. It goes contrary to what the Constitution does say. If that argument is there, transition government is also illegal. See, this is what I've been saying. So both sides have made errors when it comes to certain legal issues. So transition government has been kicked out by the Supreme Court. I mean, that's how lawyers argue it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And if that be the case, we can't say, oh, because of one illegality we now build another illegality. But then we cannot say we should just sit down when an illegality is taking place. So these are the things that confuse people like me. What is the way forward? That's what we want to talk about. Because let's say, like the court has argued, that a particular section of the Constitution prohibits. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to that court ruling and let's see it. You know, the court further held that the applicable law in the circumstances is the Rivers State Local Government Law Number 5 of 2018 that fixed 3 years tenure for local government chairmen and councillors, and not the Local Government Law Number 2 of 2024, which was enacted to unlawfully extend their tenure. And then it also talked about the law being inconsistent with the 1999 Constitution and Section 9, subsection 1 of the Rivers State. Okay, so my point is, if it's inconsistent with the Constitution, is having transitional government consistent with the Constitution? Should we abolish the local government? I mean, let's get it done with and know that, oh, okay, fine, we don't have a local government anymore. Should that be the solution? I don't know. This is just a rambling of a young man trying to understand how politics is crippling the state he comes from. So I'm going to open the phone lines for a bit because we have a commercial in a jiffy. I'd like to get your thoughts. 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. I think I'll just take a few calls and then we'll wrap things up. WhatsApp number 0809 0306416. This one says I don't need to read law to know what the Constitution is saying. Was it not written in English? The greatest problem is all the lawyers giving biased interpretation. The NJC should look into this bad eggs. Ezekiel Isaiah with that one. And this one says there is no iota of ambiguity in the judgment delivered by Justice Lakatima Q. He said what Milord did was purely to look at whether or not a House of Assembly anywhere in the country has the power to extend the tenure of local government chairmen. It is immaterial whether they are 3, 27 or even 1,000. Do they have the power? No. That's the summary of the judgment. Godwin from Chin. And I agree with you. But then there is the other part. Does the government have the power to appoint transition government for local governments? That's where the confusion is. I've got Jude. Jude is calling from Amuma. Jude, welcome.
Yeah, can I ask a question on the ruling of the High Court? The High Court of Rivers State said that the judge said he recognizes the law, government law, the one made in 2018. And I said the one made in 2024, why has he not recognized it? So I think for me, it's just very simple. The one made in 2018, according to the lawyers, was made in good faith. There was nothing, there was no crisis, there was no litigation. Actually, now, the House of Assembly that has made that law has issues that are pending in different courts for them. We had to make that law. But it was made in bad faith.
Okay.
Any law made in bad faith, I understand, it cannot stand. But it's not allowed to stand.
but you know they say morality is not law. So when you say in bad faith and good faith, I really wonder. But I get your argument, anyways.
Yeah, well, when I said bad faith, I said they have litigations. They have cases.
But it doesn't. So that means the court should have looked at the legality of the people who made the law and not say we recognize 2018 and not 2019. I mean, I understand the part that says it is inconsistent with the Constitution, but the argument of the Amewule lawmakers also have something that they're trying to treat that is inconsistent with the Constitution as well. So that's where the confusion, that's where the conundrum is, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you see, there's a question with the asking why this article, the legality of
on your number one
illegality.
Yeah.
But I think the Constitution spells out that we should not leave any vacuum.
Okay.
In order not to leave a vacuum, that the head of administrations of
where is it in the Constitution? No, Jude, where is it in the Constitution? See, don't add to my confusion. Where in the Constitution is that? In what law would you find that? Let's not add to the confusion, please. Where would you find that?
It's not in the Constitution.
That's
of administration with
can you tell me where in? Can you tell me where in the Constitution? Because what is in the Constitution is that local government chairmen will be elected, and that's why they've got deputies. And that's when there is no deputy, the person in charge, the leader of the councillors, the assembly, legislative assembly, takes over. So where in the Constitution does it say that the head of in local government will take over? That's where the problem is, because we've gone to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says no transition government at a local government. It must be democratically elected.
Okay, so let's work with the
I was hoping you.
Out that these local government chairmen cannot extend their tenure.
Of course, they cannot extend their tenure. It's like the judge said, inconsistent with the Constitution. So you see, confusion here, confusion there. But I've got Godspar from HA. Welcome, Godspar. What is on your mind? Please tell me.
Canada Kuroda.
Just go with Canada. It's good to have you. Welcome.
Yeah. I want to understand one thing from the speaker, because our brother Darlington Wuju made it explicit clear. It's not because there are crises or there are some litigation. He said that the 2018 they accepted it. Why they're not accepting this one? It's not because there are some litigation crises. It's not done haphazardly. Every year you say no, 2 years, 3 years. It has been predetermined that the tenure is 3 years.
Okay.
You cannot come up just when they want to vacate, when you want to change. If you want to make tenure language, you have done it earlier.
I agree.
When it is not when it is not mature, not now that they want to go out.
I agree.
There's tenure. And I praise the court for clearing that point that all those they did was illegal. And I cannot stand it. Maybe the governor will appoint caretaker. The head of service will take over. That's the constitution.
All right then.
So any other one coming up may not be accepted. So that Nigeria will be having some rest somewhere. A lot of litigation. That's not how to run a state. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. River State Local Government Amendment Law 2018 said local government elections would be held 30 days after the expiration of the local government chairman. I think that the electoral body in charge of election in River State is waiting for the chairman to leave office before it will be conducted. Is that what it's written, really? Anyways, let's see this one. It says Nigeria is a constitutional democracy. The law stipulates what is permissible and what is unlawful. By this reason, Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution as altered recommends only elected chairmen run the affairs of the third tier of government in Nigeria. Now, if we argue that the tenure elongation is unlawful and the ground norm forbids caretaker officials at the local government level, do we now accept the unlawful caretakers as lawful in the place of the law? The process of repealing or amending the law in Nigeria until the process is adhered to. And then you said powers to legislate is an exclusive function of the legislative arm of government in Nigeria. The truth remains that Governor Simfobara should submit to the rule of law, make every arm of government day their day. Emi Fiaga with that one. This one says, if the courts say their tenure can be extended and the constitution is against caretaker committee, the state government should oversee the LG until another election is conducted. The pundit. You do have the pundit. So you come into the place why I'm thinking and I'm saying that it means we should do away with the local government and let's just have a state government only. I don't know if that makes sense. We should amend the constitution and say, you know what? After all, last week, was it last week or this week? I can't remember. I think it was last week. We heard the Senate saying that the local government is dead. That's what we heard. So if the local government is dead, maybe we should just do away with it. We should scrap it. I've got to go. I've got a commercial. But when I do come back, we'll talk about this and more. Remember, that will be after the 6 p.m. news when open season will start. Do stay tuned.
Hello.